Hey, typical watch, how are you? Sandy Crane, good to see you. How are you? So, we will just let some other people funnel in here and then we'll get this show on the road. So, Real K-Pup Adventures, how are you, buddy? Good to see you, man. Hiker X, how you doing, buddy? Well, typical. I personally have just been pulled in many, many different ways all at the same time. And just trying to accommodate everybody through work and keep the podcast up and keep the channel up and go visit my friends up there and busy, busy, busy. So, but as long as I don't have to sleep, I'm doing great. Diesel in Jersey, how are you, buddy? How are you, man? You know, there is not many options on this YouTube live thing. Interesting. But I'm live, that's all that matters, right? RM Steels, what's up, buddy? Glad you can make it, man. So, alright. Well, I'll let a few more people funnel in here and then, going to address some concerns that I received in the comments on this last video. And hopefully I can clarify some things. So, as for the sticker giveaway last week, let me see. How was it? Let me see here. A subscriber brought to my attention that I made a mistake. And I did review it. I did go through the chat. And I did make a mistake on the sticker giveaway. And all of that has been corrected. I just need to find the person that goes by Just Stuff, who was in the chat last week, and they won a sticker set. So, as for the ones who did win a sticker set last week, they are all mailed out, and you should be receiving them in the next few days, depending on how fast the mail service decides to work. So, but anyway, I made a mistake. It has all been corrected, and everybody's stickers are on their way. And yeah, so yeah, there's not many options on this thing, unless I'm just blind and don't see them. But I don't know. I think I do like StreamYard a little better. Has the important buttons right there up front and center, and oh well. Oh well. Yes, Sandy, you're right. Just shows you're human, you know? I mean, well, it's also how we learn, too. We learn by our mistakes, right? I don't know how all of you learn, but I've learned quite a bit in my life by doing exactly what I shouldn't have done. So, unfortunately, it's the way we learn, but it is part of the learning process nonetheless. So, alright, what do we got? Sorry. One of the wonderful perks of living in Los Angeles. So, that's a good way of going about it, Sandy. You know, the more the more knowledgeable you are in anything, the better off you'll be, because knowledge is a weapon. You know what I mean? You know, someone tries to bamboozle you and say, "Oh, blah 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 blah. It is true," and you're like, "Well, no, it's not, because you know, I studied it and I looked into it, and you know, so yeah, always got to be learning. Always got to be learning." So, and knowledge is a weapon. Well, not so much of a weapon, but knowledge. I guess that would be the best way to describe it, but not for personal harm or anything. So, and the algorithm will probably shut me down here in a second for saying that word, the W word. So, nice. Nice. See, Sandy's learning a whole new language. Interesting. Very cool. All right. So, do y'all know I went out yesterday? To those who watched the video, um, nothing exciting really happened immediately. You know what I mean? Boots on the ground with Barb. How are you? Oh, Barb is lurking. She's like this, Bigfoot. She's lurking. So good to have you, Barb. Um, so nothing, exciting happened immediately. I mean, it was almost a pretty boring day. Unfortunately, the buckets did not get emptied, and I thought we would have a problem with this, and I called it before we went up there. 50-50 chance, and 50-50 chance that they would get their stuff, and they didn't. Well, I learned a long time ago that they have an issue with things with lids and tops, and they I don't know if they just don't grasp it. I don't know if they think it's some type of trap. I don't know what's going on. But I mean, that they'd be making a little bit of progress. It started with the peanut butter jar, and it looked like they just grabbed one end and broke it because it was split right down the middle. And the sardine cans, I never found a sardine can. I still haven't found a sardine can, so I don't know if they're getting opened. So, um, in the Pringles can, I never found the Pringles can, so I don't know if that got opened. But they all had the hops and lids on them, and they disappeared. So, but regardless, I put more goodies in there, and put the tops back down. Although we have succeeded in one aspect that critters and the birds didn't get to it. So we succeeded in that aspect. So it was half a success. Half a success. Um, so they didn't get their buckets, but there was it. There was an energy out there. For some reason, the entire time I was out there, I was very jumpy, just jumpy. Just at one point when I took my backpack off, and this is actually on camera, you saw me jump. I had set it down, and it was sitting at an angle, and it slowly fell and brushed against my leg, and I jumped from that, and I went, "Why am I so jumpy?" You know what I mean? So interesting energy going on out there. I definitely felt like I was being watched. One from when I'm standing at the buckets from behind me, which would be Fletch, and it pretty normal. I generally feel him back there. And sometimes I will get one off if you get a picture. I'm always standing looking at the buckets. That would be the relationship. So behind me would be Fletch. Off to the right, directly to my right, would be Mercy, and directly in front would be Carta. A lot of times I get weird being watched feeling coming from Carta's area. Most of the time I get it from being watched behind me, and I can actually hear him back there, little twig snapping, like taking very slow steps, moving quietly along, and he's a big fan of belly crawling. So you don't need to look up to see him, you gotta look down, because that's where you're gonna see him looking up at you. And then sometimes I'll get that feeling off to my right of just being watched, and that would be Mercy's area. So it's a real mix. I walked in there, and it just, the energy was just different. So RM Steele says sardines in a bag may be easier access. You're absolutely right. However, the whole point is for them to learn how to do this stuff. And as a reward for me, I get the can. Say, hey, this took fingers in a hand to open. You know what I mean? Like the bags where it's just been pulled apart and stretched, and you can actually see all where the fingers dug into the plastic. I love that stuff. So yeah, the energy was just weird. I could totally tell I was being watched. I was absolutely jumpy, and I couldn't explain it. I mean, I know they watch me. I mean, I've heard when I used to go sit out in front of Fletch's, I'd whistle once, wait a minute or two, whistle again. You'd hear him coming from further back. You would hear the footsteps getting louder and louder and louder, and he would just pace the other side of the, pace the other side of the bush line. And, I mean, I've been going up there for over a year now, and they haven't killed me yet. So, I know that they're not a threat, and I know that they know I'm not a threat. And over time, I've learned to really kind of learn their individual personalities as much as I have. Fletch is, really just kind of a loner. He just sticks to himself and, you know, gets his treats and doesn't open anything. Just takes them back to wherever it kicks back to need him. I don't know where that is. I've never been back there. I have my spots where I'm allowed to go, and they have theirs, and we have that understanding. So I don't go into their areas. You know, I stick to where I'm allowed to go, and you know, so there's that respect for their homes. Essentially, that's where they live. You know, that's their home. You know, a human wouldn't want some random stranger walking in their house and just sitting down on the couch and changing the channel on them. Who are you? You know what I mean? Yeah, we'd have an issue with it. So why shouldn't they have an issue with just someone coming into their home, you know, and just doing whatever they want all willy nilly? Um, Sandy Crane, have you tried a cowbell yet? No, I'm not gonna copy Ken King. However, I did have a little bell hanging up out here that kind of fell off the string, and cleaned it up and painted it two different color blues. Put a little new string on it, and I put that out there. We're gonna get into that later. Um, so yeah, it's a very slow road up a steep hill with not enough horses to pull you up. You know what I mean? So um, I wish things would move faster. I'm absolutely ready for it. Unfortunately, it's not up to me. It is up to Carta, and he is the man in charge out there. He is the elder out there. Um, and yeah, that's what he says goes. If he says no one can get anything out of that buckets, then no one gets anything out of the buckets. So, you know, um, it is what it is. I found out a few months ago his area, where he is during the bucket move, trying to get out of the population of the people and stuff, and shortly realized, well, hey, just put it on the other side of his area. Those two aren't going to go through his area to get the buckets, and if they go around, he'll know it. You know what I mean? So they're not going to defy him, unfortunately. Um, well, fortunately, they're not going to defy him. I don't want them getting in trouble with him on my account. Um, but yeah, he is the he's the one in charge. So respect is very important with them. Yes, yes, it is. Um, Absolutely important. It's probably on the top 5 list, right up along there with beards. Um, uh, Typical Watch says, have you heard a vocal from Fletch? Only when I discovered them. That was how I discovered them, was Fletch growled at me. And the whole thing was an accident. I didn't go up there looking for Bigfoot because, well, I didn't think there were any up there because of the human population. And like I've explained several times before, I used to ride my mountain bike up there. I know all those trails like the back of my hand. I've got thousands and thousands of hours logged in up there on a bike. And I never, you know, never expected it. I just wanted to get out of the house, go exploring, and I started going up there doing the local mountain series. And shortly into that, walked around a bush, Fletch growled at me. I jumped about 8 feet to my left. Didn't see nothing, but I definitely heard the growl. And I mean, it was not loud in volume. It was very deep, and it literally vibrated the insides of my stomach a little bit, and that's why I jumped. And I did not have my phone out at the time. Right after he growled at me, I got my phone out and started videoing because I wanted to show you guys all a tree that looked very suspicious to me. And little did I know that in that tree, just a little bit off to the right, was Carta. Watching all of this go down and probably laughing. And Bronzini Bigfoot is the one that found Carta in that video, sent me the screenshot, and I found out that after Fletch had growled at me, he moved back and stood up behind a small bush and was looking. And in that video, if you look in the distance, when I do a growl impression of what I heard, which is 99% exactly what I heard, you can actually see him duck and slowly come back down. So after all of that, I proceeded, after videotaping the tree and how all the tops were broken down and it created this like blind looking thing, I proceeded down and around that trail that goes down into the valley, and that is where I got that really bad smell. It smelled like a porta potty on a very busy construction site that hadn't been cleaned in 6 months and sat in the summer sun for all that time. And it was just a wall. It was, you walked into it for about 8 feet and then walked out of it. I mean, it was literally just a wall. And after looking at the area where Fletch ran to, that bush, there was actually a small game trail that went down across the trail that I was on, right where I smelled that smell, and then down into the canyon on the other side. So I'm assuming he saw me coming down the trail, said, oh no, if I want to get out of here, I gotta go now. Went down that, across the trail I was on, and then down there, and that was the smell that he left. Very interesting and stuff, but I did do a recreation. I kind of went back to where he was standing, and where he was standing was probably about 70 to 80 feet, probably about 70 or 80 feet back from where I was standing, and it drops down like this. It starts to slope down, and where he was standing, to see that high over the bushes, it would have put him at over 8 feet tall. So, because I was standing there, and the bushes were literally still like 3 feet above me, and I'm like 5'8", 5'9", probably 5'9.5" with my boots on, and the bushes were still, I couldn't even see where I would have been standing, and he was probably head level with the bushes, which would have put him at about 8.5 feet tall. Very interesting, but like I said, it was all by accident. I have heard Fletch growl. I've heard Carta grunt. That is actually on video and on my channel. And I've also gotten Mercy's woo. Woo! Very happy, very female-ish. And it is not often I get a vocal from him, so when I do, I'm super excited. Super excited. We've all heard Fletch walk up to the bush line, pace back and forth. Let me see. Sharon T.O., how you doing? Good to see you. Glad you can make it. So, As for, I received some comments on this last video. Several of them were pertaining to the crown that I left out there for Carta, and saying that they were not a joke and they're not to be messed with and stuff like that, and they demand respect and stuff like that. Well, I didn't put the crown out there as a joke. It was not a joke. It was, from me, a sign of respect. That was acknowledging that he is at the top and he is the one calling the shots. Crown clarified. Simple as that. From me, it means absolutely no disrespect. And the second comments I got from a different person, but is the big red glass ball I put out there. Oh, I think it's going to reflect the sun and cause a fire, especially in the dry season, and all this. Well, I thought about that before I even took it up there. I even tested stuff before I even took it up there. This isn't my first rodeo, and this isn't my first time around the block. I know all about the area, and I know the dangers, but you need to get into light refraction and diffusion. Once you understand light refraction and diffusion, you will understand that a glass sphere, will not focus light. There's no way you could focus light with a glass sphere. It needs to be convex, concave surface like a magnifying glass. And the fact that it's red, it is not going to allow enough light through it to focus it. And the fact that there are hundreds of air bubbles in it, the light's going to hit that and it's going to get diffused. There's no way that glass ball can start a fire up there. If there was any possibility of it, I would have never taken it up there. I thought about all of this first, and I have no problems with that glass ball being up there. It's not gonna happen. Okay, so because of light refraction and diffusion, it will not cause a fire. It's not possible with that. And besides, the bottom of it has a very dull, flat surface, which is about that big, and that also is going to diffuse light back through the rest of the ball and diffuse whatever light is getting in even more. So it's just not possible to cause a fire up there with that glass ball. Now, if I took a magnifying glass and taped it to a branch, I suppose that is possible, providing the sun stays in one spot long enough at the right distance, because you have to adjust the distance to focus the light to a pinpoint spot to get it hot enough to cause a fire. So, clarification number 2. Don't worry about the glass ball. It's going to be fine. There's no possible way it could start a fire. And the crown wasn't a joke. It was a sign of respect for him because he is at the top up there. And I consider him a king. He's the king. He's the king of that area. It's like the lion's the king of the jungle. He is the king of that area. So, but upon reviewing the videos and putting all of them together through the editor, well, experience some more digital manipulation, and it's very interesting. I had done the clip sitting here explaining what I was going to do with the bell, and that one was all fine. I had done the clip sitting in the truck introduction, that one was all fine. I proceeded up into Mercy's area, started the camera like I always do. I didn't make any adjustments or anything, and I videoed the whole time I was out there. And again, keep in mind, I was very on edge and jumpy the entire time I was out there, which is not like me. Had the feeling of being watched out there, which I do all the time. I'm actually pretty used to it. I know they're watching. I know they're listening. They always are. Did the video, did the buckets, did, everything like I normally do. Put the trinkets out and stuff like that, and, did what I always do. And had to do a little bit of an injury out to get out. There was a few extra people out there today, but still nothing like a weekend. Nothing like it is on the weekend. And I got out without people seeing me. I actually did a couple more clips on the way out. One was of a big, beautiful hawk flying in the air. Unfortunately, the way the sun was on my screen. I couldn't get it in the frame except for like 2 seconds. And so I just deleted that one. And there was a couple of women out there. Each had a dog walking in right where Mercy's area starts. One of the dogs just stopped, just put the brakes on, and couldn't get him moving, could not get him going that direction anymore. He's like, nope, not going that way. We're done. That's it. The other dog seemed to be fine, but he was on the other farther trail. This dog was actually closer to the downhill slope, and dog said, nope, not going any further. So I don't know if he sensed something, but the owner could not get the dog to go any further than that point, which is right where Mercy's area starts. And found it really interesting that when she said, okay, let's go home, dog turned tail and just started pulling the lady. I mean, literally yanked her and almost pulled her onto the ground. He wanted out of there real bad. However, I did not put that clip in the video because I don't have their permission. And interesting enough. So on to the digital manipulation. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clips. Hey Hoosier, how are you, buddy? I had 5 clips for that video. So I had the one at home, I had the introduction at the truck, I had the big one in the middle at Mercy's, and then I had the hawk, and then the dogs, which I didn't put in the video. And hey cryptids, how are you? So I do everything from my cell phone. I don't deny that. I have KindMaster on my cell phone, just a little free video editor. It's very simple to use. It's easy. I like it. Gets the job done. I'm a really no frills kind of person, and I'm not going to sit here and edit a 30-minute video for 16 hours. I ain't got time for that. Sorry. So I go into KindMaster. I put in my video that Ken made me, the intro video, and then I put in the short clip of me sitting here explaining what I'm going to do with the bell. Then I put in the short clip of me at the truck, and I go to put in the main video of going into Mercy's and checking out the buckets, and it says have to reformat video. And I'm going, okay, why do you have to reformat the video? All the other videos before this worked just fine. They were all the same. And so I had to reformat that video for some reason. Which took a good hour and a half. And then I just did the outro after that because I didn't put those other two clips in. But I've experienced digital manipulation out there before. Uh, One time I was walking into Fletch's and you just see that just this the weirdest thing. It was just like a real thin line, flash, or just real quick, real quick. And I had a lot of issues getting that video up. I actually had to upload it from my phone to my laptop and then upload it onto YouTube through my laptop, and it finally went. Um, it wouldn't upload that video. Um, Several times I've had digital manipulation. This particular time, um, it was interesting because the video played fine on my phone. It just, the formatting of that particular video changed. And it's interesting that it's only in Mercy's area. It's interesting that the whole energy felt weird in that I was jumpy. And, you know, the feeling of being watched out there, that's pretty normal. I know they're watching, I know they're listening all the time. From the moment I walk in to the moment I leave, they're listening to me. They're watching me. They're probably watching me before I even get to the area. I know that. It's pretty normal and I'm pretty used to it. So I don't know why I was so jumpy. I don't know why that only that video had to be reformatted. So once I went through the whole 4.5 hour process of reformatting that video, putting the whole thing together, exporting it, which took another 2 hours, and then uploading it, which took 45 minutes to YouTube. I sat down and watched it. And that's when I, kind of noticed, I was a lot more jumpier than I thought I was. I mean, I was just flinging around like crazy, and the backpack brushed me, and I jumped, and that's not like me. I'm usually pretty dang relaxed out there. So at 17 minutes in like 2 seconds to 17 minutes in 4 seconds, you'll see me pan up a little bit to a bush, and there's a big dark spot in that bush. I was really getting the feeling of being watched from that area. And very, very, very quickly, you see this flash come right from the center of that dark spot. And I thought it was in the bush. It was not in the bush. It was about right in between me and the bush, halfway. And I slowed it down to quarter speed. And it's an orb. Just gone. It's an orb. When you slow it down to quarter speed, you can actually see it. And even on quarter speed, it's like super fast. And it caught my eye when I was watching it. I sent Ken King the timestamps, and he looked at it, and he was just like, dude, there's a lot more out there than just that, my friend. He's like, I see several things. But his eyes were getting tired from everything he had done throughout the day. And he said, I'll get back to it later. So, very interesting. So, I mean, I know they were there. They always are. They're just, hopefully this time they were paying attention to the buckets and stuff, and me playing with, look, there's, just get it. It's only there to keep the critters out, They're a skittish bunch. They're a very skittish bunch. I think most of it stems from Carta. since he is the elder of the group and they have to listen to Carta. Um, I've said this in past videos. I think he might be harboring a little bit of resentment towards humans. Um, from the picture I have, his face is very scarred up. I don't know if that has to do with humans or whatever, but could have been a deer horn or bear or something from a different area. Who knows? But he looks like he has lived a very rough life. And I think he likes living there because it is not a rough life. Um, the people out there don't go off trail like I do. Um, it's kind of funny. You should see the looks I get from people that catch me just come climbing out of a bush onto a trail. They're just like, whoa, where'd this guy come from? You know what I mean? It's pretty funny. Just go, hey, how you doing? Just walk away like it's no big deal. Do 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 do. It's funny. But Northern Michigan Bigfoot, buddy, how are you doing? Yeah, so Northern Michigan knows exactly what I'm talking about. So, energy flash, you know? Yep. Yeah, you just walk in and the energy is just different. It's just different. It's just weird. So, alright, looks like my screen is frozen up. Wonderful. How does that happen? When I'm on hardwire. There we go. Now I'm moving again. So, but something did disappear though. Something did disappear. Something that was left out there last week with the rain stick was gone this week. Can anybody tell me what it was? Did anybody pick up on that out there? Anybody that saw my video tell me what else was sitting out there with the rain stick that disappeared from last week to yesterday? Sharon Guy, how are you? Judy Wheeler, good to see you. Glad you can make it. So, something did disappear. Very interesting. So, very interesting. So, something did disappear out there. They didn't take the rain stick. And, that is, well, my wife is partially right. But what was the candy in? Oh, she'll probably get it. Her wheels are turning now. She'll probably get it. Is Carta related to Fletch? No. None of them are related to any of them. They're all from different families. Sharon Guy got it. Yep. Egg. Yep. The yellow egg was gone. So, I did notice that, but I don't make a big deal out of certain things because I want you viewers to find it out. You know what I mean? So, yes, Sharon Guy got it. My Jamie got it. The hot tamales and the yellow egg were gone. And it was nowhere to be found. So, that was gone. However, the crown was still there and the rain stick was still there. Um, hot tamales. It had about 7 or 8 pieces of hot tamales candy in there. So, that was gone. I did notice that. I did bring the rain stick home. Just because I just don't need it sitting out there. And if the crown is still there next week, I'll bring it home. So something did disappear, and all those bags I found yesterday, those were not there the week before. Those were not there the week before because I looked everywhere and I didn't see them. So I don't know where those came from. Very interesting. So yeah, things did happen out there, and at the time you don't realize it. You know what I mean? It's not until you get home and you get to sit down and relax and not be so jumpy, that and watch the video that you realize stuff happens. And that's generally how I do it. I just go out, I make a video, I don't pay attention, to make, just go do my thing, and then come back, and as I'm putting the whole thing together through KindMaster, I review it and stuff like that. And that's when I noticed the 1702 to 1704 orb that popped up. See you later, Typical. Thanks for coming, man. Yeah, Jamie, are they bringing back the bags? Maybe they want more goodies. Well, that's a possibility. There's goodies in the buckets. All they gotta do is lift the lids. That's it. That's all they gotta do. That was another concern that everyone got on me about. Yes, Sharon. I didn't forget the mask. I had it on me. I just forgot to put it on. I forgot to put it on. I was out in front. I said, well, now there's no one around. Now looks like a good time to get in there. And it just slipped my mind. It just slipped my mind. And it will not happen again. It will not happen again. So, that is for sure. I got so many comments on that. So many comments. You're not covering your beard. How come you're not covering your beard? You forgot to put on your scarf. I know. I didn't realize it until I was walking out. And at that point, it's too late. You know what I mean? So I just like, oh, dude, I forgot cover my beard. I'm so sorry. I said my apologies right away once I realized it. And I said my apologies to Carta. And I told him it won't happen again. And, it was just an accident. It just slipped my mind. Well, I think the fact that I caught him, that I caught the mistake, and oh, dude, I'm so sorry, man. It was just, he knew I was genuinely apologizing, and it ain't gonna happen again. So, well, that is unfortunate that Just Stuff has not shown up today. I have a pack of stickers I'd like to send them. So, if I do not hear from Just Stuff in the next couple of weeks, well, I guess I will have to give that one out to one lucky person on the chat. Yeah, I'd really like to get them their stickers. So if anybody knows how to get a hold of Just Stuff, let me know. Tell them to leave a comment on my channel or email me, and you can get my email address in the About section of my channel. So yes, Sharon, I went back and I looked at the chat. I reviewed it. Typical was second. You're right. Just Stuff got it first. So it is all taken care of. Everyone will be happy. I am happy. And we can just get Just Stuff as stickers, their stickers. Uh, it'll be good to go. So, working on doing some more giveaways, just trying to figure out what and how. And then once I figure those out, I'll figure out when. So, yeah, that's where we're at. So, interesting stuff yesterday. Interesting stuff. So, yeah, go back to the video. At like 1702 to 1704, it's very, very fast. Just you'll see me kind of pan slightly up to the left, and in the bush you'll see this dark spot. Focus on that dark spot, and you'll see something just go bloop, and it's just like a flash, bloop. And if you slow that down to quarter speed, 0.25, you will actually see the outline of an orb. You'll see the outline of an orb. So, I'm assuming this is what possibly manipulated that video. And I've had this happen before out there. Generally happens when I get something good on video. So, I have not been able to go through the mercy section and really scrub through it to see, but generally they don't, it's happened before, but not often. And very interesting, very interesting. So, but I could definitely tell that Fletch was behind me. I could tell that Carter was over there somewhere. And there's a couple of points in the video, I think, is where I go and sit down in the shade. So I'm sitting down in the shade away from the buckets in the original mercy spot. And if you listen very closely, you can hear as if something is walking through the grass. You can actually hear that a couple of times through that video. It was another thing that I picked up on, along with that orb flash. So, yeah. I mean, if you really want to get down and to the nitty gritty, that's how you do it. Just go out, make a video, and sit down and put some headphones on and just really inspect it. Look for the dark spots, look for, any type of movement. At the same time, you got the volume up, so you're listening to very subtle sounds. Very interesting, very interesting. And you all know, for those who have followed me long enough, you all know I get pretty bummed out when they don't get their goodies. And I was pretty bummed out yesterday to a point to where I contemplated not continuing with the channel. And yeah, just getting rid of it altogether, and I decided not to, after reviewing everything that has happened and stuff over time. Got to realize that you're not the one in control. They are. They control the situation all the time. They'll give you what they want to give you when they want to give it to you. Unfortunately, I was feeling a little rejected, I guess, and, come on, it's just me. I've been coming out here for how long now? And, but I understand their position. I understand their position. Look at where they're at. They're in an area, it's a very vast area, 155,000 acres or something like that. a lot bigger than I anticipated. Um, but it's heavily populated. You know what I mean? They see hundreds and hundreds of people daily. You know what I mean? And hey, Mid South, how you doing, man? Glad you can make it. So, and I guess I want things to go more. I want them to give me more. I mean, I love the vocals, but I understand why they don't give me vocals. Um, very rarely do they. Um, I mean, I've had something tug on my backpack and nearly pull me to the ground. Yeah, take care of that, Northern Michigan. You don't need to be feeding them wolves, man. They can go somewhere else and find some food. That's for sure. Yep. So I completely understand there's situation. I know why they do what they do. Um, I get it. Uh, I just I want things to go forward, and I don't know. It just I don't know what to say. It bothered me, and I just thought, why continue to do this? You know what I mean? I've never shown any threatening act to them and stuff. I mean, coming out here. Um, Josie Wales, all right. Wow, how about that? We got the famous Josie Wales in the house. All right, good to have you, everybody. Um, so yeah, I contemplated just stopping the channel and quit doing it, and but then you know, talking to a friend of mine, he's like, "Look, dude, you're a lot farther. You've gotten a lot farther than most people have. You know, look at all the footprints you found. Look at the scat you find, the hair you have, the pumpkin issue, the pumpkin situation. I mean, all, 2/3 of the stuff you put out there just disappears completely." And I'm all, "Yeah, I know." And he's like, "So what's the deal, man? You know, Diana King, how are you? Glad to see you. You're a little late, but better late than never. So, better late than never." So yeah, I was having a moment afterwards on my drive home, just kind of contemplating. But then I got home and had the whole issue with that video section at Mercy's, and then what I found in the video while I was at Mercy's, and went, you know what? I was wrong in thinking that. You know what I mean? They give me stuff all the time. I just need to look for it. So, you know. Yeah, I know what you mean, Diana. You know. Hey, Duke, how are you? How are you? So, yeah, very interesting. So, um, for those of you who just showed up, I'm just kind of clarifying some things that, I had a lot of comments on this last video, and wanted to let everybody know the stickers are all mailed out. Everyone's getting stickers. They're on their way, and they'll be there in a few days at your address, depending on how fast the post office feels like working. And had a couple of comments about the crown, how they thought it was a joke and disrespect to Carta and stuff like that, and that's not how I intended it. It was absolutely nothing but respect for him, and that was acknowledging him as a leader. And, well, kings are leaders. So that's, nothing but respect. It wasn't a joke. I don't think Sasquatch people are jokes. They're actually very incredible beings, and I'm very happy to interact with them, you know. Um, and yeah, I was there. We mailed them. Yeah. So, um, as for the big red ball, the glass ball people had concerns with, it's not a concern. If anybody's familiar with light refraction in diffusion, um, you'll notice a lot of things about that ball that won't focus light. For one, it's color red. It ain't gonna focus light. It's colored. Um, and it has hundreds of little air bubbles in it. So what light does get in reaches the air bubble and gets diffused even more. And it's not possible for that glass ball to focus light. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna start a fire up there. I thought about it before I even took it up there, and I even tried it out here in the sun, and it just, you can't focus the light. And plus, there's a flat spot in it that's very dull finish. It is not shiny, and it's even gonna diffuse even more light. So, yeah. So I just want to get everybody all caught up on that. So everybody is, and I did forget to wear my beard cover. Honest mistake. I just forgot. Not quite in the habit of doing it. I was just in a rush because there was nobody around to get in there and get hidden. So it just slipped my mind. Just an accident. I said my apologies to Carta. Told me it won't happen again. Um, but one of the comments is actually really funny, and I'm gonna look it up to see who it came from because I want to give them credit. If my phone goes, there it goes. Um, let's see. I think I know who it is. Keith Rusnak. Keith Rusnak. He made a comment. What about the bell? And I know where he's going with this because, like I said, anything I take out there that makes noise, I always demonstrate it, and they never take it. So we have the bell. It makes noise. I did not demonstrate it. I just put it down like it was a marble. And I know where he's going with this. Oh, what about the bell? You're going to get so much trouble with that. That's what he's implying to my reply. Well, we'll see how much trouble I get in for that. You know? But it is my experience. You can't trick them. I can almost guarantee you that bell is going to be there next week. It may not be where I left it, but the bell will be in that area. As soon as they pick it up and that thing goes jingle jingle, they're going to drop it. So we may find it on the ground, if anything. But I can guarantee it will be there somewhere. And, it'll be interesting. I hope he doesn't take it personal. And, who knows? Maybe Carter won't pick it up. Maybe Mercy or Fletch will, pick it up. Who knows? But the thing about that bell is in that area you get a lot of people on bikes, a lot of mountain bikers, and they will take a bell like that and tie it to their handlebars so that when they're going down the hills over the bumps, it jingles as a warning to anybody in front that the rider can't see that they're coming down the hill. It is a very common sound out there. I hear it quite often. I think I've gotten it on video several times. And so who knows how they're going to react to that. It's kind of, yeah, I didn't demonstrate it kind of thing, but yeah, it's something common that they hear regularly out there. You know what I mean? So who knows? Who knows? But I can almost guarantee you that'll probably still be out there next week. It might not be on the log. It'll probably be on the ground somewhere, but it might. It's yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens out there. So yeah, Keith Rusnak was. Well, what about the bill? You're gonna get so much trouble for that. And I'm like, yeah, we'll see about that. You know, is what it is. I mean, you gotta play with them sometimes. You know what I mean? So, but you know, I walked out of there going, well, that was pretty uneventful. You know, and it's weird too because when I walked out of there, the whole jumpiness thing just went away. I just wasn't jumpy anymore. I wasn't on edge. It was weird. Um, but weird things happen when you have Sasquatch in your immediate vicinity, right? So, yeah, anybody interested in going to timestamp 1702 to 1704 in that video? Yeah, go check out that orb, slow it down, and it happens so fast. I even slowed it down and tried to pause it so I can get a screenshot of it before it flashed and during the flash. And I couldn't do it. It happened so fast, even on quarter speed. So I'm pretty sure that had something to do with that video needing to be reformatted in the editor. And, you know, I've had instances of digital manipulation happen before, so it doesn't surprise me. Frustrated me, but because I wanted to get the video up, but it doesn't surprise me. But we pressed through and we did the reformat and we got the video exported and uploaded, and unfortunately the quality went down significantly. I think it went from 60 frames per second down to 30 frames per second, so it looks all grainy and stuff when I'm moving. So we lost a little bit of video quality. I even went into my phone and checked the settings, and the settings was on 60 feet per second. So digital manipulation, you never know when it gets you. So you never know when it gets you. You know, not until you get home and start, you know, relaxing and going through stuff that you realize, hey, there's a lot more going on here than I thought there was when I was out there. So, another little trick too. I don't know if anybody has picked up on this in my videos. If you see me stop and literally focus on one spot, that's because something caught my eye. Movement, something, a sound caught my eye, a feeling caught my eye, and I will focus the camera over that way for longer than I normally do elsewhere. So, pay attention to those. So, pay attention to those. Um, yeah, and then y'all can go through it. Maybe you might see Fletch's face, Carta's face. Um, Fletch is very intimidating looking, but he is very well behaved. It says OBS Studio will end. This stream will end shortly. Huh. I don't know what is going on with the internet today. It says good connection. Huh. Weird. Well, we'll keep pressing on. If I get cut off, I get cut off. So, yeah, pay attention if I stop the camera and focus on something, and if it's something really important, I zoom in on it. pay attention to that because there might just be something there. I'm getting some vibe going from that direction. I heard something. I saw something. I saw movement. Um, something got my attention over that direction. And, yeah. So look at, when I do that, pay attention. So, yeah, even though you watch the video, it doesn't seem like anything interesting happened, but it absolutely was interesting. Um, Keith Rusnak, how you doing, buddy? I was actually just talking about your comment. And, what about the bell comment? And, yeah, we'll see how much trouble I get in with it next week. So, yep. Yeah. I don't know. I may have just screwed up again. Who knows? Who knows? You know? So, but the yellow egg disappeared. I didn't find it. Um, that was done. If you go to the 1702, 1704 mark and look for the dark spot up in the top left corner, if you just take the screen divided in quarters, top left corner, you'll see me pan up to a dark spot in the bush and then come back down. Um, you'll focus on that dark spot and you'll just see this quick flash. And if you slow that down, you will actually see the outline of an orb gone real quick. So, yeah. So I think that may have been the point of the digital manipulation. I'm not sure. Definitely some strong energy going on out there, and definitely the feeling of being watched from Cardiff's direction and Fletch's direction. Um, yeah, I think Mercy is just kind of she's hanging further back than she used to. Um, and I'm sure that has something to do with Carta. So I don't know what yet, but yeah. But a couple weeks ago, we did get her go woo. So that was interesting. Um, so yeah, we'll see what happens next week. Yeah, so I experienced missing yellow plastic Easter egg that had hot tamales in it. Um, Digital manipulation of just the video of Mercy's area having issues and having to be reformatted when none of the other videos needed to be reformatted, and there were no changes done to my phone camera settings. Um, so yeah, lots of stuff happened. Sharon Guy asks, how many people do you think you have out there? There's four. There's four. There are Carda, Mercy, and Fletch, which are all in that one area. And if you go back to the local mountain series, exit 1, where I find the barrel and stuff like that, in one of those videos during that series, local mountain series, exit 1, I found a big barrel stuffed way up in a tree from the bush side, not the trail side. And I was actually walking down a game trail, and I heard that same woo come from down the side of a mountain. And so yeah, I think there might be another female over there, but Sorry about that. I had someone come to the door. So, well, everyone, we're looking at about an hour and 20 minutes right now. And I gotta go let my rabbit out and do a bunch of stuff and eat dinner. So, thank you all for coming. And like I said, if anybody knows how to get a hold of Just Stuff, let me know. Send them my way, and I will get those stickers out to them as soon as possible. Everyone else's stickers have been mailed. They are on their way, and I hope you all enjoy them and show them off proudly. So, thank you, everyone, and go check out the video. Just the Mercy section. It's at 1702, 1704. And look at that orb and let me know what y'all think in the comments. Because I have never experienced an orb out there before, nor have I ever caught one on video. I was just reviewing the video and I went, that really caught my eye. What was that flash? And it looked like it was coming from in the bush, but when you slow it down, you could see it's between me and the bush. It is not in the bush. It just happened to be in that black spot, and it stood out really big. So, go check it out. Slow it down to quarter speed. Focus on that black spot. Like if you take the screen and just cut it into 4 sections, you're going to be focusing up in the top left-hand corner at that timestamp. And let me know in the comments what y'all think, because I've never, ever experienced that or seen that in any of my videos before, but it doesn't surprise me from what happened with that video. Interesting that it was only that video that had the formatting issues. So, go check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments, and hopefully we'll get the podcast back on track this Sunday. We tried doing it yesterday, and unfortunately I only had an hour to spare between 5 and 6 to do the podcast. I had to go take care of a kitchen faucet, and it was already scheduled and everything, so had to do that. And I guess Christy had a family emergency to tend to at that time, so I guess Lewis had gone on by himself, and then Christy later joined. So hopefully we'll get back on track this Sunday with that. So we'll do the podcast on Sunday, my videos on Monday, then we'll do the live here on this channel on Tuesdays. So, yes. Well, yeah, pay attention. Pay attention. Go back and look. It's very interesting. And pay attention to when I stop and focus on something for longer than usual. That's because something caught my attention. Something moved, something made a noise, a feeling, whatever. Something got my attention from that direction. So pay attention to that. Go check out that orb. It's very interesting. From what I hear, there's several other things in there, and I haven't had time to really scrub the video yet. So, yes, Diana King, yesterday's video at timestamp 1702, 1704, dark spot in the bush, up in the top left-hand corner of the screen, you'll see a flash. And if you slow that down, you'll see an orb just bloop, real quick. Real quick. So, alright, everybody. I will see you all next week. We'll see how much trouble I get in for the bell. And we'll see if they get their goodies. I know they want it. You know, I'm sure all of you saw me put the sardine cans in the tops. So, if they want those sardines, they're going to have to play with those tops. And after they play with it, they're going to realize, oh, it's not a trap. Let's get our stuff. So, hopefully, you know, they're very sketchy. They're very skittish. leery of humans, no matter who it is, no matter how long you've been going out there. They know I know of them. And, it's a very slow process. But if you look back at from when I discovered them to now, I've actually got a long list of stuff that they let me have. You know what I mean? So, long list of stuff. So, it's not at my control. They control the situation completely. So, and I understand why. So, all right, everybody. I will see you all next week. And hopefully this Sunday. Yes, this Sunday on the podcast, we'll get it together. And we'll see you there. And then we'll see what happens on Monday. And we'll discuss that on Tuesday. So, thank you all for coming. And as always, don't blame the Bigfoot. Everyone have a good night.